That's they determined this was carved out by man and not by natural weathering. At one time, there's a lot more here, but the rock has sat outside so long, a lot of their passages have weathered away, so there's just a little bit of it left. But you can see remnants of it all up and through there.
Wow.
Now, artifacts have even been found here. Previous owners have found helmets, pieces of armor, some weapons, even a couple of gold coins and a bracelet.
Wow.
One of our early expeditions, we found a sword blade and a belt, which we do have on display in that log cabin. So once we get out, if y'all would like to see that, I'll be glad to show you that as well.
Cool. Okay.
Do y'all have any questions or anything yet?
How many soldiers were there approximately?
Well, according to the documentation, there were 19 named soldiers. There could have been more, but we know of at least 19 that made it here.
Pretty good.
Absolutely. Well, we know that they sent them out on small excursions in small groups too. Now, we also know that the entrances to this cave, to the cavern, were sealed up and lost. This cavern was not rediscovered until 1885. An old man from Madrid, Spain, found some documents and a family Bible that was handed down to him. In those documents were maps how to get here and treasure maps. Now, this little town of Gravit, right outside of there, was once known as Ninga. They stayed there at a family inn, but when they found it, it was right out there, the entrance. They brought the old man there, dug straight down. There was a huge rock, huge crater with some funny markings on it. When they removed it, it just opened up to that massive cavern. That's when our first treasure hunt took place. It just continues on today. The treasure's never been recovered, but I do believe we're getting very, very close to it. I'll show you where we think it is and tell you why once we make it to that part of the cavern.
Yeah. Wow. I think you're getting close. You're getting clues. Are you getting fragments of things?
We have a lot of new, really cool discoveries going on.
Neat.
One of these discoveries, let's see, the first or second week of November, so it was just a few weeks ago. With a lot of the pirate folklore of a dead man's chest. Parts of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's a dead man's chest.
Oh, that's right, for sure. How do you like owning the cave?
Oh, I love it.
Isn't it like life's adventure?
Yes. Well, I've had it for in April, it'll be 29 years. Watch your heads and steps and stop at the beginning of the handrail. There'll be a place you can raise back up.
Not a place for 6-footers, that's for sure.
Well, it does get a little bigger over there, so.
You said 29 years, huh?
Just about. And we're still making discoveries. We still have a lot going on.
Whoa, look at the ceiling. How sparkly.
See, Amber got the right idea.
That's what I was telling her, that you wanted me to wear my headlamp.
Yeah.
Well, you can if you'd like.
Oh, I left it at home.
Okay.
She didn't want to dig it out of her backpack, that's what it was.
Well, I'm going to tell you about a lot of really special features of this cavern because this is a pretty unique, pretty cool cavern. And one of them's right here. This will be one of the very few caves or caverns you will ever get to go to that you're going to go up into it. You see, most of them go straight in or they go down. Another fun thing about this cavern, everywhere you look, you're going to find passages hidden off in the shadows. This is a maze cavern. Right here behind you, that passage branches off into 4 other passages. There's also 3 levels. There's an entire lower level. We're going to see just part of the middle level on this tour, and there's an upper level. So imagine stacking one huge maze right on top of another. So as we go through, pay attention to everything around. We see lots and lots of cool things. That's because I guess it's not even really 2 weeks ago. We knew this area had been concealed by man on purpose, but we don't know why. So we took some metal detectors and we were scanning the floor, and of course they were just going nuts. So we were removing some of these big rocks and boulders, and we found an old piece of mine track that was, it's back from the early 1900s. Now we only found one of the rails, so it looks like it was used to hold something up or pry something up. We just don't know yet. So we're removing a lot of those excavations. It looks like it's going to open up into a tunnel. If it does, it could be a time capsule of the past. There's no telling what we'll find in it. So we're pretty excited about that area.
Pretty neat.
Aren't you afraid that when you're removing, you know, soil and rocks that the top might not be supported well enough to stay up?
Not in this type of limestone. This is
No?
a very hard, very strong limestone. A lot of people mention limestones, you think of a soft or a brittle rock. But when you get down into deep layers like this, it's very hard, very strong, almost like a granite.
Okay.
So. Now right up there, you'll see another hidden tunnel.
Oh, look at all those.
Of course, we're not going to go up there today either. There's a passage that goes off to the left and one that goes back behind us. This place just goes everywhere. So watch your head and watch your steps. At the end of the handrail, you can hold on to that, but you can also hold on to this man-made wall. Use that as a handrail if you want. Yes. You see, it could be 110 degrees outside or 10 degrees below zero. The cavern's going to be nice and warm. It's going to stay the same temperature year round. Oh, we're going to go down there. Before we do, though, I want to tell you a little bit about this type of rock, the limestone. I know some of y'all are familiar with limestone. This entire region was once part of the ocean floor. Compressed together. Now that'll explain where we'll find lots and lots of fossils of ancient sea animals. One, it's kind of unusual to see in a trail like this, and it's called a trilobite.
Is that some of those that you have in your shop? Did you find those?
Not from the cavern. They didn't come from the cavern. It's a felony to take anything out of a cave or cavern like that.
Oh, wow. Even your own cavern?
Oh yeah, if you have a cave on your property, it's federally protected.
Wow.
That's because our lifespans are so small and caves are geological time is very, very long.
Yeah.
There's a red one.
But a trilobite would be a little animal that swim around in the bottom of the ocean, real similar like a horseshoe crab in today's time. We're talking about animals that lived on the earth long before dinosaurs did. Let me show you one. Are you getting that? I'm gonna turn on
Got
these
it.
lights. That's the trilobite. So that's the prehistoric crab. Now as we go through the cavern, pay attention to the ceilings and the walls. We'll find lots and lots of other fossils too. But pay attention to this. This is our depth wall. So make sure you duck down.
Whoa, that's the big cave.
Well, that is an excavation we started. We're very excited about. Where we're standing, 28 feet beneath us, is a massive river passage. I took my team, so we floated in boats through part of that river, stopped where this rock wall was.
Underground.
And it doesn't come out anywhere that we found it. And so it's a self-contained underground river.
Wow.
But when we surveyed and mapped that out after we found that wall, because it was a man-made wall, when we overlaid the two surveys together, it pinpointed to that location, and all that's been filled in by man. So we don't know who did it or when or why, so we started to dig down to get on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Now we put all that on the back burner because we have new discoveries going on, which I'll point out as we go
Has
through.
that always been there?
Since I've owned the cabin at least, but we're gonna be up there a little bit later.
Oh yeah.
Did y'all notice that real pretty area right there?
Yeah, that's
behind
I
me?
just got a
Yeah.
picture of that.
Whoa.
See that right up there is
Look
what
at
we call
this
the
one.
Bridal's Veil.
Look
I
at
can't touch it though.
Yeah, don't touch. Or you'll
Uh,
throw it.
Yep, that's right. The Bridal's Veil right there. All these are formations, they're onyx. They're formed because water is dripping down. The water has minerals that crystallize and build on top of each other. Most tour guides will tell that the formations like that in a cavern will form about a cubic inch every 100 years. Now that's just a generalized guesstimate. It depends on the rate of water and the mineral content.
Wow.
I will show you one place in the cavern where we know how the formations are. And I can show you why we know that. And that's a little bit later.
What's the sparklies on the ceiling?
Even though our drought outside broke, we're still in a kind of a cave drought right now too.
Okay. So it's not so drippy like it was in the video.
Right, that's correct. Well, we're not gonna go any further this way. So watch your heads and watch your steps. I'll let you lead us back to the main trail. Yes.
Come here at night.
Or the day, it looks the same.
Yeah, dark.
Now the trail we're on, this is all a natural cave floor. There are little dips in it where it's wet. It could be a little slippery, so take your time and be careful. And we're gonna be walking this way. Now there's a passage over there to the right. We'll be back there a little bit later. First, we're gonna go straight ahead. So watch your head and steps in this area. So we have a real pretty area right up here. Are y'all familiar with your stalactites and stalagmites? Nope.
Stalactites are the ones that go from the ceiling, stalagmites are the ones that come up from the ground, right?
Yes.
One
That's
has
what
a
we're talking
C in
about
it.
up here. An easy way to remember those is that your stalactites hold tight to the ceiling. Stalagmites on the ground, but you remember the stalagmites because you might trip over them. Now all those little bitty stalactites up there are what we call soda straws. They're hollow on the inside. The water's dripping down on the inside, and it's leaving mineral rings as it's flowing through there. Now, I'm going to show you all a real pretty view of this area. Right up here around the corner is one of my favorite views. So watch your heads and steps. We step up here. Now we do have another concrete bench, but we cannot touch this, and I'll show you why. But you can step up here and look. We know the concrete was poured back in 1940, so this is the only place in the entire cabin we know held the formations are. Since 1940, the water's been dripping down, it's depositing the minerals, and as you can see, the minerals, of course, are crystallized. It looks like somebody just sprayed it with glitter. Now, if we were to reach over there and touch that, that's why it's all of our jobs to make sure we don't do that. But look right up here, you'll see this, how pretty this is. And this is something you want to stand right here in front of me. We'll take turns looking at this. But look right up here. Oh, you can get a little closer, but just watch your head there too. This is what we call the land of 1,000 lakes.
Wow.
During the wet seasons, all those are pools of water. Now caves go through wet and dry seasons just like we do outside. In the spring times, our wet season, you see all those full. Winter time's kind of a drier season, so that's when the water is already evaporated and just left all those pretty mineral crystals.
And something else.
Now, a little bit earlier, we were talking about an inlet sea or ocean.
Yeah.
Well, if you look right up here, you'll see the entire ceiling is covered in fossils.
Look at that.
All those little bitty ones that look like little Cheerios, these are crinoid buttons or plates. Now you put all those little pieces together, they form stems, and yeah, you can see some big crinoid stems right there. The complete animal looks a lot like a plant, kind of like a fern. They thought those were extinct, but many years ago, a diver went down into the ocean and he discovered a colony of living crinoids. He did take a picture of one, and I have it there in that log cabin. So I can show you all what a living crinoid looks like.
Oh, you have a living one?
I had the
A
picture.
of it.
A picture.
But you can walk along any bluff line, creek bed, or gravel road, you can find those crinoids. Sometimes in a loose state, they have a hole in them. People call those Indian beads. Native Americans would string them up and make jewelry and stuff out of them. That's what they are, they're fossils.
And what is this shiny stuff on the ceiling?
Well, it's water, but you see this right up here, but I think that's what you're looking at. It's called moon milk. And it's kind of a neat, interesting formation. It's a growing formation, so it does grow. It's not living like biologically, it just expands, it gets bigger.
Is it like a fungus or is it
No,
like
no, it's not.
mineral?
It's a mineral.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you go to caves, people talk about how caves grow, they're living and stuff like that. Doesn't necessarily mean they're biologically living, it just
Right.
means they're
Continuing to
expanding or
grow.
continuing to grow.
Take a picture.
Now you can hold on to them.
Oh, wow.
Which is a lot of fun.
What makes it so slimy?
It's the water and the consistency of the really fine silty clay.
Oh.
Now we're entering the council room.
Oh, look at that.
Off this one room alone, there are 18 passages that branch off and go in different directions. So this place just goes everywhere. Now, we were talking about the movies. This is where you can bring your camp chair. We've got a big screen up here, and this is where you sit down and watch one of the old movies of the 80s and 90s, usually.
Where do you sit down?
You bring your bag chair, your camp chair, you sit down here.
Down here, you put a screen up this way?
Yep, right up here.
Oh,
We have a great surround sound system, too.
I guess so.
The Goonies in the cave, that's the spot right there.
Well, the Goonies in a treasure cave.
Yeah, the treasure cave.
That's neat.
Did y'all notice this wall right here?
Yeah.
My wife calls this the jellyfish wall.
Jellyfish wall.
You use your imagination, you'll see all kinds of fun stuff. So she thinks it looks like a bunch of jellyfish swimming in the ocean. Now, of course, if you have a bunch of jellyfish, you have to have a sand castle. So there's a sand castle right there. I've had other folks tell me it looks like the nose of a dragon. We'll just let y'all decide what you like.
Yeah, there's the teeth coming down.
Now, did any of y'all have a chance to look there in the middle of the room? You can see that old campsite.
Yeah.
Most of that's original, but of course it does not date back to conquistadors. A man by the name of George Dunbar found a couple of gold coins and a bracelet. When he found those items, he started living inside the cabin. He stayed down until about 1912. That's right before he passed on.
Where's the hole with the smoke one out?
It's up here around the corner, and I'll show you that too. And I'll show you what we're doing, because these are our big excavation projects. So hold on to the handrails and watch your steps.
Picture of them going down there.
And then what about the hauntings? Are the smells that you talked about on the video, is that part of the haunting?
Yes, and they're most predominant in the springtime for some reason, yeah. And it just smells like, I mean, maple syrup, sugar. I mean, it's a very, very strong, potent smell. And it's not just one or two people, it's not everybody walks through this. Yes. So it's not something we just kind of make up. Well, I'm gonna turn on these lights right now. And right down here, you can see some old mining tracks and part of the old were made with any lights on them. And we don't want to take pictures or flash pictures of them. at
Okay,
least.
so no pictures, no touching.
Yeah, no flash pictures, please. Watch your history. I haven't been in here today. Now I say that exactly. Oh, there it is. That's right. He was sitting over here.
Is that a bat right there on the ceiling right there?
He is sleeping, so we don't want to disturb him.
Oh, how
Move over
cute.
just a little bit, Jesse.
This bat right up here, this is a tricolored bat. They don't like to hang in a big group. It's not a colony bat, it's a solitary bat. So that's why you say a little bit.
Yeah, like it's
Especially
getting
when I lean to this
deeper,
wall.
deeper, vibrate, you hear vibration, you know, a little bit more reverberation.
You can point your voice anywhere along the wall on the right. You hum, kind of lower tone. If y'all hit the right note, you can hear through the whole cabin.
Somebody do it.
All right, we'll do it all together. It's gonna be in a louder but lower tone. There you go.
Go ahead, Randall. I felt it. I felt it.
We didn't even hit the right note. When you do, your clothes will vibrate. Just feel that resonance. But we were getting close.
Give us the right sound.
Well, we'll have to do it together.
Okay.
Okay, it's a louder but lower tone. Are y'all ready? 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Gonna intersect. And it happens again a little further up the path there.
Wow.
Yes, this right here is what happens when a stalactite and stalagmite reaches and joins. Do y'all know what those are now called when that happens?
No.
I'll give you a hint. What does it look like?
Pillar, column.
It's called a column. That's the hardest formation for people to remember, and I think it's because it's so easy. Now, did y'all know that the formations like this column, the Bridlesville and so forth, they're onyx, and onyx is translucent.
Look at
Oh.
that.
Did you do it to this one or
Are-
is it too?
Is
It's
all,
very dense.
is all onyx made out of These drippings, all onyx?
You know, a lot of times when I mention onyx, people think of black onyx like in your jewelry.
Yeah.
The different colors represent your different minerals. So your bluish gray to a black is a manganese. Your white colors, iron oxide.
Yeah.
Kind of think of it like a rust. And those are the primary colors you'll see throughout the Ozark caves.
Very cool. That amber.
Yeah. We don't want to touch it. Simply. You can still hear the echoing.
Yeah.
But once we get up here, coming up around the corner, you'll notice our voices will go flat. We moved out of it.
I never felt, it's even more right here.
Yeah.
Right
Yes.
here. It's, look, it's right in here. It's like an echo right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Can we do it right here?
Yeah.
We'll
Go
go
for it. Quick, go right down there. Oops, sorry.
Come on, Dan, come help us.
Oh, you guys hum along. Don't sound like a bunch of
He's probably
bees
filming
were
that.
still echoing.
Yes, it is echoing. But right there's our newer dig. We dug through 45 feet, got into a little room we call the turnaround room. Of course, when we turn around, we come back out.
Yeah.
But there's a little stream of water on the floor. If that water recedes enough, we'll push through there, see what else we can find.
Wow.
So we're pretty excited about that too.
That was very reverberation. A lot of
So you've been
reverberation.
exploring this cave for 29 plus years or so?
Almost 29 years.
Almost
yes.
29 years, and you guys you still are finding stuff every day.
I wouldn't say every day, but we are still finding stuff, so it's pretty exciting.
Very exciting.
This area drops down into a spring. We were on the other side of that earlier. As you look over to the other side, you'll see tunnels and passages. Now, right over there, once you belly crawl through that, you can actually stand up and walk around the corner. Gets into the crystal room and goes beyond. There's other passages. Where I'm at, there's a little bit of a slope, so be careful. Maybe a little slippery, so take your time. There's another bag right there.
Oh, yeah. Where? Right there on this rock. Oh, there's two.
Well, it looks like two, but I think there's just that one.
Just one.
Yeah.
Did you guys, are your multicolored bats in here still?
The tricolored bag?
Yeah, tricolors.
Yeah, those are the tricolored
That is
bags.
tricolor? Yeah,
Mhm.
cool.
In fact, we're in conjunction with the Game and Fish. We're going to do some bio surveys here in the cavern, and we're going to do specifically a bat survey here this
Cool.
winter. So we have that on schedule.
Your caverns are trying to make me a stalactite.
Well, you're going to have to stand there a while.
A while, yeah.
Now, we are not done yet. We still have another room to go to. It's a real.
Definitely a good place to come get out of the weather and build a fire.
Absolutely. And really, you don't really have to have a fire, though.
Yeah, it's not that bad in here.
You're coming up here through an ice winter storm. It feels pretty good.
Yeah.
You're welcome to hold on to the man-made walls. Use those as a handrail. Once you reach the handrail, make sure you grab onto those. Now, right up here above us, you can see the cavern has been declared as a nuclear fallout shelter by the Silver Fence. So in the late 50s, early 60s, it was stocked with food and medical supplies.
Huh.
Now, that's in case of another nuclear war. Well,
Randal, turn
there's
around.
a huge stack of cans around the corner. We just pulled some of the nice ones up here so you can see what the real stuff looks like. Now, once we make it back to that log cabin, we did open up some of those so you can see what's inside those.
Oh, wow.
Is that package of crackers that was in the cabin?
Yes, that looks like
Yeah.
graham crackers.
Yeah, look at the graham crackers.
There's 15 of those packages in each one of those cans. The water, though. So there's not quite as many.
Kara. You guys look spooky.
I'll let you get a picture when we do. And all of us together.
We can
Really.
Yes. We enjoy being inside the house.
For sure.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Maybe come
You-
here summer.
Thanks, Grab.
Yeah,
Sure.
that was fun.
Well, we appreciate you.
Wow.
Sure is cold out here.
Yes.
Wow.